In the world of fighting games, there are many important aspects that give the gaming genre its charm. One of the more iconic aspects is the special moves. Special moves, at least in terms of 2D fighters, are flashy attacks that can be done through the combination of a directional motion followed by a button press. For example, down, down right, right, followed by a punch will perform Ryu's iconic Hadouken attack. Special moves play a big part of the genre because of their usage in combos, plus they give us fans something to shout along with when we play as our favorite characters. It's a memorable aspect to the genre and gives fighting games plenty of charm. Now for this list, I will be including a few super combos as they are technically still a special move since they require a directional motion and a button press. Now then, let's get started with my top 10 favorite special moves in fighting games. Number 10. Thunder Shadow Chain, Guilty Gear Xrd Sign / Revelator. Starting the list off is the move known as Thunder Shadow Chain. This move is done by Axel Lowe from Guilty Gear Xrd Sign and Revelator. The reason I love this move is because it has so much range. A half circle back motion followed by a heavy slash, and all of a sudden I can attack my opponent from 3 different angles. This mix-up turtling style is a great tool to have at my disposal when I need to keep my distance from my opponent in order to think of my next attack. It's a versatile attack and for that I enjoy using this move. Plus it's fun to be a dick to my friends and keep them away just to watch them get salty and call me cheap. It's fun. Number 9. Fighting Gear Special, Chaos Code. Here's our first super combo in the list, Rui's Fighting Gear Special from the game Chaos Code. The move stands out to me because of how simple yet flashy it is. It's Rui's standard anti-air kick attack, but it's done repeatedly in sequence. The reason I like this move so much is because Rui will alternately shout 1, 2, 3, or Ich, ni, san, while performing the attack. That alone is enough for me to enjoy this move because it gives me something to shout along with when I perform the move on my opponent. It's just a ton of fun to quote your favorite characters in fictional media. It's a callback to when I was a child and I'd shout Kamehameha along with Goku in an episode of Dragon Ball Z. Anyways, the Fighting Gear Special is a great looking attack that ends off with a powerful kick that slams the opponent down to the ground. If it's something that I like in an attack, it's impact, and this move definitely has it. Number 8. Kuhadon, Fatal Fury, King of Fighters. Andy Bogart from the Fatal Fury series. I've never played a Fatal Fury game, well except for Mark of the Wolves, which is a damn fine game by the way. So most of my exposure playing this character is in the King of Fighters series. When playing as Andy, there was one move that struck out to me that made me want to keep playing as him. That move was a Kuhadon. Something about this attack just looked really awesome yet elegant to me. The way he just performs his jumping dive kick in an arc formation looks really cool. I love using this move as an anti-air against my opponent. I know he has the Shoryuda as his anti-air attack, but something about an arcing kick being used as an anti-air is pretty comical and unorthodox, which is why I like it so much. Number 7. Inochi Kurenai, Under Night In-Birth EXE Late. This super combo, known as an Infinite Worth in the Under Night series, brings back a lot of nostalgia whenever I see it in action. Yuzuriha's Inochi Kurenai, the official name being a long Japanese name that I can't pronounce for the life of me, fuck it, I'll try to pronounce it anyways. Sugetsu Itoryu Batojutsu Zero no Katahyogi Inochi Kurenai. I'll just stick with Inochi Kurenai if that's fine with you guys. Anyways, it reminds me of the old anime Ronin Warriors. I remember when I first picked up my copy of Under Night In-Birth, I wanted to try out Yuzuriha because she looked like a cool character. When I tried out her super combo for the first time and I saw her throwing these ribbons around the opponent before slashing them, it jogged the memory in my head. It looked incredibly familiar and then it hit me. Ronin Warriors! It looked just like when the main characters would have their transformation scenes to summon their armor. They would have these ribbons that circled around them before putting their armor on to get ready for a fight. So the reason I love Yuzuriha's super combos so much is because of its similarity to an old anime that I enjoyed watching as a kid back in the Toonami block. Number 6. Hadouken, Street Fighter series. A move that needs no introduction, it is the most iconic special move in fighting game history. A move that's performed by almost every Shoto in the Street Fighter universe. I love this attack so much because of its versatility. I'm a big fan of Shoto characters, and as such, I have a lot of experience using the Hadouken when playing as Ken, Ryu, or Sakura. The Hadouken can be used to end off a combo, or to zone your opponent out when you need some space to come up with a new strategy mid-battle. Of course, I also enjoy using the super versions of the Hadouken, such as the Shinku Hadouken and Metsu Hadouken. but I wanted to appreciate the main form of the attack on my list. Naturally, it can be a very spammy move, but there are many other attacks and jumps in fighting games that can be used to avoid projectile-based attacks, so the Hadouken is not entirely broken or cheap. Regardless, it's a great move to have, and it's fun to shout along with when playing as a Shoto. Even though I praise this special move a lot, it's still not my absolute favorite. There are still 5 more moves left in the list that I like more, so let's keep going. Number 5. Final Destruction, Street Fighter series. Before I began my life playing 2D fighting games, I used to play side-scrolling beat-em-ups on my Super Nintendo. One such title was the ever-so-popular Final Fight. I remember my brother told me about this widespread glitch in the game known as the Infinite Jab combo, where if you use Cody or Guy, you can keep jabbing an enemy, turn back and forth, and then repeat the combo in order to get an easy kill. Since Cody is originally from Final Fight and put into a Street Fighter game, it was nice to see a callback to his roots in his super combo. The Final Destruction shows off that glitch by having Cody repeatedly punch his opponent, turn back and forth, and then continue his flurry of punches before finishing up with a criminal upper. It's a nice little homage, and I love seeing references to Final Fight in other Capcom games, because Final Fight is one of my favorite video game series of all time. For that reason alone, Cody's Final Destruction gets number 5 on my list. Number 4. Bushin Goraisen Pujin, Street Fighter series. Guy happens to be one of my favorite video game characters of all time, so it's only natural for him to have a super combo that'll appear on my list. Now, him being my favorite isn't the sole reason for his move being on this list. No. The reason the Bushin Goraisen Pujin is on my list is because it is an extremely badass move. It's really cool to see Guy do multiple wall jumps only to grab his opponent and launch them down with a classic Izuna drop. I love using Guy's target combo, Bushin Gokusekin, just so I can chain it into his ultra combo. It's a pretty standard combo for Guy players, but it looks great. I like the fact that the Bushin Goraisen Pujin doesn't need any flashy lights to make it look cool. It's a simple ninjutsu technique, but it looks very powerful and you can definitely feel the impact as the opponent's neck just slams to the ground. Number 3. Power Dunk, Fatal Fury, King of Fighters. Here's another Bogard with an interesting take on an anti-air attack. Terry Bogard's Power Dunk is a 2-hit anti-air attack that he created based on his interest in basketball. Terry's original anti-air was his Rising Tackle, which involved charging down, then up with a punch. It was a very silly looking move, but it's an iconic part of his moveset. However, in Fatal Fury 3, he introduced the Power Dunk, and boy do I prefer this attack so much more. As I've stated before, I've never played a Fatal Fury game except for Garou, but my first experience using Terry's Power Dunk was in Capcom vs SNK 2. It's a great looking attack and I feel it fits Terry better than a gravity-defying spin kick. Plus the way he shouts, "Power Dunk!" is hilarious to me, but I love shouting along with it anyways. It's all good fun when you play as Terry Bogard. Number 2. Shoryuken, Street Fighter series. Ah yes, the legendary anti-air attack known as the Shoryuken. Used by many Shotos in the Street Fighter series, it's a very useful attack to have when your opponent tries to jump in on you. The medium punch version is the most universal form of this attack because of its invincibility. Now, I'm a sucker for uppercuts because they are just a really cool move in general, and they look powerful too. As such, I love using guys like Ken, Ryu, and Sakura because they have the ability to use said Shoryuken. And come on guys, we've all shouted Shoryuken whenever we see an uppercut outside of Street Fighter. Hell, even Deadpool does it in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's a classic move just like the Hadouken, but because I love uppercuts, the Shoryuken gets a higher place on my list. Oh, and Ken's Flaming Shoryuken is pretty beast. Number 1. Are you okay? Buster Wolf, Fatal Fury, King of Fighters. If my research is correct, Terry Bogard didn't start using this move until Mark of the Wolves. However, I played Capcom vs. SNK 2 first, before playing that game, so again, I had my first experience using the move in CVS 2. When I first saw the move in motion, I just fell in love with it. It was such a simple attack. Terry just slides forward far, only to punch you in the face with an explosion. Not before asking if you're okay though. Terry's a good guy, he wants to make sure you're doing fine before he knocks you out. The way he just says, "Are you okay?" and then "Buster Wolf" in his traditional and horrible English makes it very memorable for me. I love that they continue to give Terry this move in the latest games in the King of Fighters series. It's a great addition to his moveset because it travels pretty far, it's simple, and it's powerful. Now if only we can get a clash between the Buster Wolf and the Falcon Punch, that'd be pretty sweet. And that concludes my top 10 favorite fighting game moves. I plan on doing more top 10 videos in the future. Leave a comment down below about your favorite special moves in fighting games. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video in any capacity, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Your feedback provides more motivation for me to continue making videos. I appreciate any support. See you guys next time.